least, many, most. The subtle word plays of the English language in involving quantity. This video is a response to Haas. And Haas, good comment, because I've been meaning to talk about this for a little while. So, his comment was he doesn't feel, and his video backs this up. You can go look at his video. His videos and his comment states that college should only be for the vast minority. Okay, interesting. I'm not going to say that I disagree. Well, I disagree with the vast minority because it just doesn't make sense, and I'll explain why. But I'm not saying it's for everybody, and I don't think it's for most everybody. I said many in my previous video because I think it's for many people. Not most, certainly not the least, I don't think, or the least minority, whatever. Well, I want to talk briefly about my dad growing up through high school. My dad, when he was in high school, 70s, I think? Yeah, I think so, around the 70s. Yeah, it had to have been. Yeah, that makes sense. Early 70s, late 60s. So he's in high school, and in high school, they had wood shop. They had metal shop. They had classes that were a part of the curriculum that taught you how to be someone that could make a living outside of high school. High school these days don't really do that anymore. You can go and join clubs, and you can join whatever crap to go into, like nursing or health academy was one of the ones we had at our school. There was a drafting club, which could teach you, I guess, how to be a drafter. But I don't know what drafting is. Is that mechanical drawing? I think mechanical drawing leads to architecture, which leads back to college. So high school doesn't really afford you a lot you can do. It's not like, yes, okay, let me first get something out of the way. You can do anything you want out of high school. You can do anything you want. You can prove that you can do anything you want. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that high school diploma doesn't certify, and I'm not saying it certifies everything for all people, or that it certifies you're even good at what you're doing, but that you could walk out and weld metal. You could make something. You could produce a thing in wood shop and in metal shop. It was a actual, super valid skill. Nowadays we teach like typing, right? Typing. It's a necessity, but it's not something that you walk out and produce a novel when you have typing, right? You'd have to meld your English classes and your typing classes to create a novel on a computer. Anyway, my dad graduated high school and he went into the Air Force. From the Air Force, he went to Vietnam, and when he was in Vietnam, he was a crew chief on an A-7 Corsair, a beautiful little aircraft, I think. And when what the hell was that noise? When he got out of his tour in Vietnam, he ended up going to a trade school, and that trade school solely taught how to be an A&P mechanic. It certifies that you can work on aircraft, and you get a certificate, and Bob's your uncle, there you go. Now, so look, here's the deal. I don't think college, right, the term college that we use and think of when we think college is for everybody, but trade schools certainly are a wonderful option for many people. An A&P license, while not really the thing to have in California, is a great asset to have, not asset, but it's a great skill and certification to have if you're going into another, whatever area. Associate's degrees, I think, is what causes a lot of this problem, because that's where you get this standardized bullshit elective classes. That's not to say that community colleges aren't something that more people should be involved in. Okay, here you go, buddy. My grandfather, my father's father, went to both UCLA and USC, and I don't think he graduated with more than a bachelor's degree. So you ask, well, how did he go to USC and UCLA, or why for that matter? He went there because he was interested in the classes they were teaching. He paid his own money to go take classes to be taught what those particular professors were teaching because they were the best at what they were doing. I think it was back in like business classes or whatnot. So we've lost that aspect of college. Having some college checked on an application or a resume actually meant something at some time. And then people would ask you, well, what some college have you had? And then you'd explain, well, I've taken, such and such business and accounting classes up to this point. And they'd go, well, what can you do with that? What have you been doing? What would you like to do? And people used to have these discussions. Now, it's a matter of, well, what bachelor's degree do you have? Oh, I'm a BA, a business administrator. I've got a bachelor's of science in finance, blah, 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 blah. You could have taken a senior year of just that core functionality of performing that degree, that job, and you'd have the same abilities. So look, here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying college degrees are for the minority or many people or most people. I'm saying the act of college and higher learning is for a great many people. You don't have to get a degree out of it. You don't have to get a certification out of it. You don't have to get anything but your own learning, particularly if you're paying for it out of your own pocket. If you have grandeurs of delusions of grandeur in your head and you want to just take your core classes without any of the associate degrees that go along or the associate information that goes along with it, knock yourself out. But now, for a second, if I may, when I started my college whatever to get my bachelor's, there was a whole bunch of electives that I thought, why the heck am I taking electives? Electives such as psychology, sociology, and history. Well, my degree is a Bachelor of Science in Computer Information Systems. And by and large, the classes that I have used the most since getting out of college are the human aspect classes, psychology, sociology, and history, because it allowed me to have an introspective look at why people sometimes do the things they do. I mean, when you go out there in the business world, and I don't just mean you go work for a company. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're whatever, and you have to work with other people, and when you work with other people, you're going to have to deal with quirky people crap. A smart person will study on stupid people crap. That's not to say you can't do a better job of it on your own. Again, I'm not saying college is where you go for this kind of thing. But for a lot of people, myself included, I found the value in going to college and getting done within 3 years and being done with it and have my bachelor's and out the door. A fully accredited degree done. Was there some garbage on the way? Yes. Do I look back and go, has that databases class 1 and 2 that I took, advanced class or whatever, helped me? No, it hasn't helped me. But the theory of it and being dynamic enough that not me being dynamic, but with a dynamic set of knowledge in a particular area, technical field, that allows me to grasp onto certain similarities in a particular job or task that I may have in the future and go look up what those missing parts are. So I can take my degree, which I got in 2004, and apply it to 2012 standards regarding databases, and I'm going to find a lot of homogeneous areas where you can look at it and go, oh, okay, well, when they said, this thing, they really meant this thing. Or I want to get this, and I refer to it as, some kind of parent-child relationship or some relational thing in a database. And, I'll get a Google response or response from Google to a message board or to a Wikipedia or even a product website that would say, this is your end-all be-all solution, or most people use this nowadays and they don't use the other. You get what I'm saying. All right, I'm way rambling, but I want to hit on something really fast. I don't know how many videos ago, I mentioned something called The Third Wave. It's a book. Go look it up if you're interested. And it was a discussion, or the book tries to explain how our society is onto the third wave of human civilization. And the third wave is based off of knowledge and education and really just information brokering. And I mentioned that my particular job is an information broker. I take some information and I make the information more robust, or I just create things that is only information. Code, for example, software is just information. It's organized and delivered information. All right, so before you had the third wave, the second wave, which is industrial, the industrial wave. The industrial wave, hold on. Had to get over there. The industrial wave was where you're kind of seeing why metal shop was important, why wood shop was important, why the 4-H club is important. That industrial skill of making things, that agricultural skill of creating and growing. The first wave, of course, was agricultural, second wave is industrial, and third wave is information. The agricultural is still around today. It's never going away. None of these waves ever fully disappear. It's just that they either get taken over by another nation that's going to do it better because they're building up, or we will improve upon it through our time in the information realm, what have you. Yeah, so we're obviously in the information realm or civilization right now. You can see it as our obesity rates go up. We're obviously not working very hard. We're obviously not toiling. We're obviously not making stuff aside from what our fingers can tap out on a keyboard and what comes out of our heads. Is that wrong? Maybe. Should we still know all those cool things, how to weld and all that stuff? Yeah, we should. But that doesn't change how civilization works. Where the hell am I going? Oh, I'm still going straight. God, I get so lost I'm at the Long Beach Town Center. I get so lost down here. Okay, I think I covered everything. Is college for everybody? No. Is college for most people? No, not at all. Is college for many, many people? Yes, I think so. Even if it means you don't get a degree. I think there's a mindset amongst people that if they didn't get a degree out of going to college, they wasted their time. And society perpetuates that. And it's a shame because even if they don't do anything with those classes that they took, those onesie, twosie classes that they left, being in those classes, taking those classes, going through the process, has changed that individual's mind at some point. College for me was vastly superior and more interesting than high school. I by and large hated my time in high school. I just hated it. I hated the people. Well, not my close friends, but I hated most of the people. I guess hate's a pretty strong word, right? I disliked a lot of the people. But college was great. It was a focused feeling of learning something, to me, that was applicable to me making money in the future, more than that of my peers and so on and so forth. So, anyway, think about it more or less of the individual, because I know there's a lot of people out there that take really dumb things, and I'm not saying they should take those dumb things. But if you're responsible and you know what you're up to and you know what you want to do with it, college could be a really good thing. Very powerful. And I think if given the opportunity, if given the choice of either you go to college or you discourage people from going to college, I would at least recommend that everybody takes or tries some form of higher learning, even if it's a trade school thing, or even if it's a study program, whatever. Anyway, I'm to my destination. I'm like ripping all my things off. All right, guys, take it easy.